my son is an IVF baby. He's now 32 years old. And, you know, he certainly wasn't among the first, but he was pretty early in the development of IVF. And so those years of trying to become pregnant were really pretty awful. And I've lived a very fortunate life. I mean, I have, you know, really next to nothing to complain about. And so that felt like the first real challenge I'd had, you know, and again, as health challenges go, not a big deal. I mean, it wasn't, but it was hard. It was painful. And yeah, so I feel like I feel pleased for people that they have more options now than were available then. And yeah, so that's really the only, again, kind of so-called health challenge I've had.
Yeah. Like, so you said it was like early on in kind of like IVF's existence. How did you hear about it, or like how did you consider doing it?
Well, it wasn't, I mean, I'm thinking Louise Brown, who was the first IVF baby, I believe, born in England. Now, I wouldn't be able to say when she was born. So my son was born in 1989. She might have been born like in 1980. It's not like it was, you know, days into it, but still early days in the sense of back then, so fertilizing eggs went pretty smoothly if you had, you know, if you were lucky enough to have decent eggs. Transferring them to the uterus and having them actually implant in the uterus was not so highly developed then. So for instance, my first, no, well, I don't remember. It was I had a few IVF cycles, and the one that produced Dan, we transferred four ovum, you know, ova, I guess is the word, which they would never do now because chances are too good you'd end up with four babies, you know. So in that sense, it was early days, but it was, you know, test tube babies, they were called, you know, and we got jokes from people